Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Gamestack Podcast right here on We Just Love Games Network. This is episode 110, and we are Rickless and Reckless. This is Rickless and Reckless Part 6, and joining me this evening is Shaline.
I bet
Hello,
he
Shaline.
doesn't appreciate that we keep track of every time he's gone.
Probably, but that's okay.
Tally.
It's probably one of the longest running jokes on the show, I think. Yeah.
We do know how to commit to a bit.
Yes. How are you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Yeah. How are you doing, Shaline?
I'm good. There was enough snow today that I was able to justify working from home instead of driving to the office.
Oh.
And I was pretty stoked about it.
Get lots done.
I took 2 naps. I did also get some work done and sit in on some meetings and take care of some things. But I hope no one I work with ever listens to this podcast.
Well, I mean, let's chalk it up to the fact that maybe it was actually not necessarily a snow day, but more of a mental health day for you.
A little bit, yeah. I needed that. I really did.
Yeah, you've been working super hard. Mm-hmm. It's not like you've been slacking off. So, 2 naps. 2 naps.
A morning nap and an afternoon nap. And it was magical.
Wow. Einstein would be proud. Well, welcome to the show. If you're just coming in, happy Friday. We love that you are here. If you are listening live, pull up a chair, get us some snackies, and pour yourself a nice beverage, because you have to deal with just Shaline and I for the next hour and a half to 2 hours tonight. So
you're all ours.
Yes. And yes, Rick is not able to join us, but he we should have.
He's having a lovely weekend.
We should have put like a placeholder of him somewhere on the screen here,
like on the beach. Rick on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just to point out, he's gone for a good reason. Everything's fine with Rick. Yes. Don't worry about Rick.
This time, missing members of the show are actually missing for good reasons, and we're not all on our deathbeds.
I feel like every time that we're off, it's because like, oh yeah, crisis, medical problems, No, Rick's having a good time. He's taking a weekend off.
Yes, and with that in mind, we do apologize to our audio listeners that we've been off for the last couple of weeks. Last week was just no good.
Ugh, it was a no good, terrible.
I had like full on hay fever, and it lasted like 3 days this time, which was really bad. So ever since I ended up putting down my cat, the hay fever I get usually only comes like once every 6 months now, instead of like every other week. It's no fun having hay fever.
No, it's miserable. It's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't feeling well last week either, hey, Shaline?
I wasn't, no. I was having some sick.
Some nauseous
issues. I don't
nausea.
really want to talk about it. If we're being honest.
Speaking of things to talk about, we have a lot to talk about tonight. But before we get into that, we want to let you know that the show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every purchase of every We Just Love Coffee bag blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Don't forget, if you're listening live, host us on Twitch. Tell your friends about the show. Bring them on in for the live stream every Friday. If you are listening after the fact, we haven't forgot about you, and we love you. So thank you for your continued support and tuning in and subscribing to the show. But don't forget, if you want to get involved in the community and you want to be part of that conversation, and sometimes part of the conversation on the show too, you can join the Discord. And Shaline's going to tell you guys how to do the Discord things.
Yeah, you can join our Discord by clicking the link right under our Twitch page here. That link is live whether or not the show is live. So even if you're listening to this after the fact, you can roll on over to twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames and click that link to join our Discord. Alternately, just shoot us a message on social media, on Twitter, or send an email to info@wejustlovegames.com, and we'll get you the link.
Yeah. Yeah, the Discord's been kind of quiet this week, actually.
I agree with that. Yeah, I feel like there's been a little bit less going on than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need people. to come in and rally it up and, post a bunch of GIFs in the GIF Wars channel. We do have some news. We've got some Gamestack. Shalene's going to update you on some Fallout stuff. We do have some awesome screenshots from the Screenshots and Stories channel in our Discord. And then we're also going to take you through what we're playing. So, let's just roll right into that. This just in. As always, big shout out to Joseph Tao, who helps us compile our news from week to week. We do appreciate all of your hard work and insight and helping us make the show better. So, I'm really, this first story, we're really sort of like diving deep into it. Maybe I should have put this like in the middle or closer to the end, but
you know what? It's better to just rip that Band-Aid right off. Let's just dive into it.
Yeah. So the video game, so the things that have been happening in Europe. The Ukraine-Russia war has not been a good thing. We are certainly all rooting for Ukraine, of course, and continue to show our support as they fight to protect the freedoms and themselves as a nation. And the world has demonstrated that same support through other means. And particularly this article from CNBC by Ryan Brown talks about how the video game world started moving to cut off Russia amid outcry over the Ukraine war. And so video game companies are actually starting to cease operations in Russia amid this their invasion of Ukraine. For example, Poland's CD Projekt Red, the publisher behind the sci-fi title Cyberpunk 2077, and the popular RPG The Witcher, noted on Thursday that it would halt all sales of its games in Russia and Belarus. It is also pausing all sales through the GOG Games distribution platform in the countries. And they said, and I quote, "The entire CD Projekt Red group stands firm with the people of Ukraine," the company said in an announcement Thursday. And I just want to read their sort of official statement on the matter. They said, "In light of the Russian military invasion in our neighboring country of Ukraine, until further notice, the CD Projekt Red group has made the decision to halt all sales of our games to Russia and Belarus. Today, we begin working with our partners to suspend digital sales and cease physical stock deliveries of CD Projekt Red Group products, as well as all games distributed on the GOG platform to the territories of Russia and Belarus. The entire CD Projekt Red Group stands with the people of Ukraine. We are not a political entity capable of directing influence state matters, and don't aspire to be one, but we do believe that commercial entities, when united, have the power to inspire global change in the hearts and minds of ordinary people. And we know that players in Russia and Belarus, individuals who have nothing to do with the invasion of Ukraine, will be impacted by this decision, but with this action, we wish to further galvanize the global community to speak about what is going on in the heart of Europe. To our brothers and sisters fighting for their home country, stay strong." So that rings a little bit heavy, right? Other companies as well have jumped onto the support wagon for Ukraine. Electronic Arts on Wednesday said that it would remove the Russian national team and all clubs in the country from its FIFA soccer titles and the NHL football game series. They said they're going to keep their communities up to date on any actions taken, but thank the players for their patience as they work through these updates. Another company on Friday went a little bit further, saying now that it's blocking all sales of games and content in Russia. And earlier this week, Ukrainian digital minister Mikhailo Fedorov called on Microsoft and Sony to block all Russian and Belarusian accounts and cancel any planned gaming events in the two countries. So he's also asking firms to deny allowing Russian and Belarusian gamers from competing in international esports events and things like that. So it's I think it's nice to see video game companies taking steps to show their solidarity and support for Ukraine. What are your thoughts on this, Shaline?
I think it's a good thing. They're doing what they can to support what they feel is right. Additionally, I believe CD Projekt Red donated a significant sum of money
Mhm.
to support humanitarian causes in Ukraine at this time, which is a really good move to see. And like they said, they're a commercial video game company. They're not empowered to do something politically, but they are empowered to do things like that, to make a donation of their own profits and to show with their actions what they support. And um, I think it's pretty important to stand up for Ukraine right now. These people need it.
It is
In any way that you can.
Yeah, it is important. And for maybe some of our younger listeners or people less versed in economics, you might be wondering, well, why does cutting Russians off the ability of playing their favorite video games going to impact or have any part in this war? And the answer to that is that in cutting in the video game cutting ties with Russia, that has a significant impact on Russia's economy. Russia is home to a very robust gaming marketplace, which in 2021 was worth an estimated $2.3 billion. And with their Xbox and PlayStation platforms as well, Microsoft and Sony are two of the largest video game distributors globally. And so that has a huge impact on their economy. Uh, Mobile platforms like Apple's iOS and Google Android, other PC game distributors like Valve's Steam, that would, may also play a role in how they can impact that as well. And so every little bit matters. These actions by these companies not only show solidarity, but they are actually having an impact. So yeah, it's good. Speaking of impact, I did you? How would you feel, Shaline, if somebody went onto your socials, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Twitch page, or maybe watched or listened to Gamestack podcast and critiqued your character and your eligibility for something based on that?
Oh, you mean like my personal character, not like a video game character?
Correct.
Okay, I thought they were looking at like Jim Justice, giving him a critique, my Fallout character, or
No.
maybe my new bandit in Elden Ring. I thought they were critiquing my character, in which case I would have been open to it. And I mean, I guess in a way, I as a semi-public figure, we're not a huge channel, we're a small channel. But in a way, we're a small public figure. So we do put ourselves up there to be judged in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But it matters. Tone is what matters.
Tone is absolutely what matters. And this next article that comes from gamesindustry.biz by Danielle Partis. Thank you, Danielle. She writes in about a company called Artesian Builds. Are you familiar with Artesian Builds? So Artesian Builds is a small computer hardware company that develops and builds computer
PC
systems.
builds.
And what they do as part of sort of an ambassador program is that they give away PCs. And so they're basically like a custom computer building outfit. And there has been some recent developments with this company that would probably shock you. So a streamer on Twitch that goes by the name of Kiapia, so Kiapiaa, and I do want to spell that out so that you can go search her on Twitch, entered into a contest to win a computer. And in a clip from March 1st, the owner and CEO of Artesian Builds, Noah Cates, was found to be saying on air on a live stream his personal perspective and decision on whether or not she should receive that computer based on his assessment of her social media status and her status as a Twitch streamer.
Hold up a minute. So So this is the type of contest where you like draw randomly.
Yes. So upon winning the giveaway,
And she won. Kia Pia won the
she
drawing.
yes, upon winning the giveaway,
And this
Artesian's
fellow decides he doesn't like her
yes.
personally.
Artesian CEO Noah Cates said during a live stream that she didn't qualify as an ambassador for the company because she didn't have enough followers on Twitch.
Ooh. Oh. Was that part of the giveaway terms? Like to enter this giveaway, you have to have 5,000 followers.
Okay, I need to play the clip for you because
All right. All right. Let's do this.
like I can't put it into like when I watch this, I couldn't put it into words. Like I was so floored that this person would say this thing. So here is his direct comments, unaltered by my opinion.
2K followers is under my threshold. 3 days ago is within my threshold. Long streams, which is good. An Artesian Builds GIF panel. See if you have redeeming qualities.
Redeeming qualities?
Personally bought 10 PCs.
She
I guess
could be international.
No idea who you're.
I obviously.
I'm over here.
No, not international. America. Cheap shipping.
No, it just means they don't have to pay for shipping.
Thank goodness.
From Australia.
Active
Nice.
Media.
So Australians will potentially have to pay like duties, for example. I think it's worth it.
So the clip cuts off there. There's a longer clip of it, but basically he goes on to like look at her Twitch and like read information from her Twitch page and critique her based on that. And you know, his main claim was that he's heard saying 2,000 followers is under my threshold, which you didn't hear in the clip. He later adds, here's the reason this person has had 3 months of ambassadorship and not a single click before purging Kia Pia from the competition.
Whoa.
Purging. Yes.
Wow.
So she responded to Action through Twitter, and she said that the rules stated that entrants only needed to have an Artesian panel in the About section of their Twitch page, which she claims to have done. And she said directly to Mr. Cates, you are making my community seem like they aren't supportive, and they're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Intel also released a statement regarding Artesian's actions and said that we strive towards welcoming streamers of all sizes to our programs and do not agree with the recent negative comments directed towards small streamers. We are reaching out to relevant parties to address this situation.
What a jerk.
Cates,
I don't.
it gets wait, there's more. Cates issued an apology via the Artesian Twitter account. So, you know, saving face, really, which he has since deleted. And Artesian also reoffered the prize to her, which, of course, she declined because why would you, like, on principle?
Screw right? You guys.
On March 5th, the company tweeted that it was examining a potential employee-led buyout of the company and thanked its audience for the support. Yesterday, March 9th, wait, that would have been 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
March 9th, Artesian revealed that it would be halting all of its business practices in the United States indefinitely. Well, I mean, they only operate in the US, but indefinitely. So, and they said that it was unclear whether or not they didn't allude to whether or not it was from the giveaway, but clearly.
So this jerkish actions
literally
killed his whole company.
Yes. Yeah.
Which, like, he's getting what he deserved, but they're employees that are now without jobs, presumably.
Yes. And there's about 40 to 50 individuals employed with this company.
Wow, that's a
And
shame.
some of them have expressed their resentment towards the
Oh,
behaviors and
yeah.
actions of their CEO. And, I mean, even if the company didn't totally tank, I would imagine that there probably would have been employees that just up and quit because
Mhm.
you don't treat people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. If the follower count mattered in terms of the contest, why didn't he make that a prerequisite of entering the contest?
Yeah, he definitely misspoke in that situation and got himself in a very sticky mess. But you get what's coming to you, right? You can't do things like that. You can't treat people that way and judge them without truly knowing who they are and how hard they work. Small streamers on Twitch work tirelessly to try to get their stream noticed and their content noticed, and it is incredibly difficult. Anybody who is a streamer on Twitch knows that it is incredibly difficult to maintain and even achieve 75 concurrent viewership. Now,
Oh yeah.
Artesian said, "We are sad to announce that effective now, we are freezing, suspending all activities." He wrote in a statement, "Ongoing is analysis by outside counsel for reorganization to ensure fair treatment of clients, creditors, and employees. We expect more info by the end of the month." Now, when I heard that this story broke, actually, when I didn't even hear the story. I watched the clip of him saying that and formed my own opinion. I went straight over to Kia Pia's Twitch stream. I subscribed and I followed. At that time, when I subscribed and followed, she had 3,000 followers. She now has close to 30,000 followers.
So this turned into a positive thing for her in a way. It's a shame that that's how it had to happen, but I do hope that some of these followers stick around. Have you watched Kia's stream? Is she a good streamer? Is she enjoyable to watch?
She's a sweetheart. She looks.
Yeah.
She the way that she streams is like, I got to be careful what I say here because I don't want to put myself in that same situation. But I don't think that I'm the type of person that would. What I was going to say is that she seems like the type of person that I would follow and subscribe and watch on Twitch.
Somebody that if you had found her organically, you would have still been interested in following.
She's a sweetheart and her streams are very entertaining. So good on her for standing up to being a small streamer and standing up to literal assholes like this.
Yeah. What a dirtbag.
I mean,
what an absolute dirtbag.
Redeeming qualities. He's going to have a hard time redeeming any qualities after this. I mean,
when you do a giveaway, you are participating, you are engaging in a contract with an unknown party is what you're doing. And you are bound to the terms of that contract. You don't just get to change your mind. And that's, if you want to do a giveaway, then you do your giveaway.
Well, exactly. And it makes me wonder, like, how many other winners of Artesian Builds were critiqued in such a way that maybe they didn't get selected?
If he didn't want to do a random giveaway, then he should have sought out streamers he was interested in and offered them a PC. That's his right to do. But a random giveaway is a random giveaway. And the terms that he put in the entry, the terms of entry, he's bound by them as much as the entrants are. And what a horrible man. I don't want to talk about this horrible man.
So anyways, I personally think that we haven't seen the last of this guy. I think we're going to see like some lawsuits probably coming in the future. We'll probably be talking about it on the show in the future as well. But speaking of people doing stupid things, I have another stupid story for you.
We have it.
So hold on, I have to turn off my ad blocker. Because, yeah. Okay. Did it work? Yes.
Are we... Okay. What are we doing?
Yeah. So this next story, sorry, I wanted to make sure that I have it, from Tamasia De Silva, Global News here in Alberta, where I live, wrote this amazing story that I have to share with you because you're just going to love it. So you know how there's like sometimes like some kid gets a hold of their parents' phone and, then if, a few microtransactions later.
Yeah, like
it's
accidentally buys
accidentally.
$5,000 Robux.
Yes. Well, I mean, didn't that happen to Jack Black?
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah, it did happen to Jack Black. Well, anyways, an Alberta father is warning others after being on the hook for thousands of dollars when his daughter got addicted to an online video game.
Oh, no. I always want to know what was the game. That's always what I want to know.
Right? Jerry Marion of Okotoks told Global News that his 18-year-old daughter, 18.
Oh, that changes things.
So she had to have thought about it.
She's a whole entire adult.
Right?
Yeah, she knew what she was doing.
18-year-old daughter became hooked on the game Township over the Christmas break, racking up about 800 charges over just a few months.
800 separate charges?
Correct.
800 microtransactions?
Yes.
Not $800. 800 transactions.
Yes.
So I assume Township is like a city builder? I'm going to give this a Google. You carry on.
Marion said that his daughter was confused about what she was buying and the fact that she was using real money. He added he believed that the game also played into the vulnerability and isolation that she was experiencing at the time, which is plausible given the COVID-19 pandemic. He also alludes to the fact that she was experiencing some social anxiety and dealing with some mental health issues. So she was clearly in a vulnerable state. But Township is sort of described as a blend of city living and farming. It's free to download, but the virtual game items within it itself can be purchased for real money.
This is pretty similar to a Farmville type situation.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Dr. Tom Keenan, a University of Calgary professor, told Global News that, these games are a business, and if they give them away for free, they have to make their own money somehow, he said. So they make it extremely enticing for you to buy in-game microtransactions, right? And, you're encouraged every time you log on to buy something and share it with your friends, Keenan said. They're trying to put you into an online community of people that you give and receive gifts to, and that can be very addictive. But not only addictive, I would argue, I would also say that it's a form of peer pressure.
I agree with that.
You see these people purchasing and having these items, and then you want to have that too. So then you go and buy it, like the Lodestar said in Sea of Thieves.
I want it so badly.
And these algorithms that they build into these mobile games and every other game, they're very powerful psychologically. They are built on expert, fine-tuned marketing techniques targeted at your wallet. So the university professor encourages parents to install parental controls on their devices, know what their kids are playing, and know where they are sending their money to. As for adults, he advised gamers to set a limit and stick with it. However, and also added that some manufacturers need to be more transparent about in-game microtransactions and the added costs and the addiction there, right? It is gambling.
It really is, especially when you're doing something like a loot box type situation where you don't know exactly what you're buying. In an instance, like you referenced the Lodestar ship set in Sea of Thieves. If I pay for that, then that's what I get. I know I'm getting that. But in a lot of these mobile games, they'll have a skin for your city, for your base or something. And when you buy the package, you may not get it, and they don't post the drop rates all the time the way that they should. So you end up spending all this money. You don't know if you're going to get the item you want or not. It's
So Marion reached out to Township developer Rickless to try to, reason with them to resolve this issue around these charges, because he quoted here in the article that she was spending $200 to $250 a day on some days.
Yikes!
Which in total was just it was about $5,000. Yeah.
Now, Vendor, I'm not on the dad's side here. I'm just not. Because this his daughter's an adult.
That's hard. It's a hard case to make because his daughter's an adult, but he
If
does.
she had taken his credit card and gone to the mall and bought clothes or whatever, and then worn all the clothes so that you couldn't return them, that's just the breaks. He needs to have a talk with his daughter about paying that money back.
I do agree with you. That as an adult, it's going to be difficult to make a case, and it shouldn't be her father that is making the case for her. It should be her. So I'm not entirely sure where the father comes into the mix here, but I do want to acknowledge
she's old enough to have a job and make her own money at this point.
But I do want to acknowledge that mental health is a weakness that can be preyed on for developers in microtransactions. People get very addicted to spending money.
You are absolutely correct.
So when you make them lucrative like that, you make it. These people they're already in a vulnerable state that they're more likely to purchase those things.
I understand, but I still think that personal responsibility is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's.
So there we are. But this article is really great. I just love Global News Edmonton because they really.
This was an interesting story to talk about.
Yeah, at the end of the article, they put some nice tidbits of information for all of us to be cognizant about, and they talk about how to control/limit spending. For instance, on Apple's support page, the company has several ways to limit purchases made on any of its apps and devices. Passwords. Customers can choose whether they want to enter passwords when buying items, as well as how often they want those passwords to be entered. Built-in tools and resources. Things like family sharing, ask to buy, and parental controls can help customers protect themselves and their families from unauthorized spending. Two-factor authentication for purchases is also another consideration that you might want to add to all of your devices, regardless of whether or not you have an addiction to microtransactions. And then the last thing that they recommend is email invoices. So always request an email invoice, at the very least, so that you have some sort of paper trail, right, of the purchase in case you get swindled or something like that. So, but he reached out to Global News and he got a response within a few days, and he ended up Apple actually ended up issuing a full refund.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah. So
I'm really shocked.
He said, what's more important than the refunded money was that the tech giant acknowledged that there are certain situations that might merit another look at a different approach to microtransactions.
I am shocked that they refunded this, and I don't like that they did. I think they shouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't think that she's really going to learn anything from it. So
I think she should have had to work and earn money and pay this debt that she accrued. That's, to me, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. She's an adult.
Yeah. Speaking of money, the employees of Elder Ring got a raise.
Yeah, I'm so happy about Vendor. I'm so glad that now we're talking about something happy, because this has been kind of a heavy news segment.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I'm really excited to talk about something happy.
The news.
Tell me about this raise. They deserve it.
The news this week has just been really sort of so. Elden Ring publisher has decided that they're going to raise all the salaries of the employees in Japan. So Elden Ring, as you know, is published by Bandai Namco. And it informed its Japanese staff that they will receive a pay increase from this April. Their average monthly salary will be increased by 50,000 yen, which is an estimated about $400 to $500 more per month American. which is quite a big increase, as you can imagine. I don't know about you, Shaline, but I spend $400 to $500 a month just on groceries.
Oh yeah. That's a
Right? So,
huge difference. Huge.
yeah, yeah. So they announced on the 28th in a press release through IGN, Bandai Namco Entertainment Incorporated will increase the ratio of basic salary to annual income from April 2022 with the aim of improving working conditions by stabilizing employee income. We will introduce a new compensation system that raises the basic salary by an average of 50,000 yen per month for all employees. In addition, the starting salary will be raised from the previous 232,000 yen per month to 290,000 yen per month, which I don't know. Hey Siri, what's 290,000 yen in US dollars?
290,000 Japanese yen is 2,472 US dollars and 71 cents.
Okay, $2,400 a month.
That's a really significant raise.
Is a starting salary for new employees. So that's pretty good. And they said, they wanted to realize this vision. And they noted that it's essential to promote the active participation of diverse human resources in multiple fields, which is why they decided to make this revision to their salary policy.
It's really nice to see video game employees getting recognized and rewarded. I feel like what we always hear about in the news is like, oh yeah, the people who made this game were working 20 hours a day and sleeping at their desks, and 4 of them died bringing you this game, and then they were all fired. So,
and the ones that did survive went through sexual harassment and
so
right?
it's so nice to see video game employees having a success and getting rewarded. That's great.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's really good to support employees where they need support. And at the end of the day, the very black and white of it is paychecks.
Oh yeah, that's why people have jobs. I mean,
you pay people
dress
what
it
they're
up.
worth,
Dress it up any way you want. Nobody has a job just for the joy of it. We need to be paid.
Well, I did, but then the pandemic happened, and that's not a reality for me anymore. But yeah, the press release also noted that new graduate starting salaries will see a 58,000 yen per year month increase as their pay goes up to 290,000 yen. That salary also includes a 10,000 yen allowance awarded for the Entertainment Input Opportunity Provision System, which is sort of a scheme that's looks at activity-based working. So that's sort of meant to support, the hard work that these people are putting in to develop games. So yeah, I think that's a great story. And I do have another really good. Actually, let's talk a little bit more about Elden Ring. Now that we're on the topic of Elden Ring, you've bought it, right?
I did buy Elden Ring. Yeah,
and you're gonna talk about that. You're gonna talk about that later on. But
I am.
I do have a nice article, an IGN article by Logan Platt here that talks about Elden Ring and what it was like out of the gates after launch. Over on Metacritic, the PlayStation 5 version of Elden Ring has scored a 97, tied with the likes of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Grand Theft Auto 5, Metroid Prime, and other games. Only 4 games have ever scored a 98, and that would be The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina.
I know, I say it because...
Oh, Ocarina, that's right.
Ocarina of Time.
That's a throwback.
Yeah,
that is such a throwback that I forgot it. The Ocarina of Time.
Keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
I got to fill Rick's boots somehow, right? Ocarina of Time stands alone at 99. And on OpenCritic, Elden Ring is currently tied with Super Mario Odyssey for the highest rating on the website at 97. The first thing about the scores is that they're incredibly fresh. This article says that Elden Ring's review embargo only lifted hours before the article was written. So some of the reviews that are already out aren't really scored yet due to the game's length, which has probably changed since that time. But overall, the game has very favorable reviews. IGN referred to the game as a masterpiece, saying that Elden Ring is one that they'll be looking back on as a game that moved the genre forward. And that goes without saying that this game has actually had quite a bit of hype behind it as well in its development. So if you are looking to check out Elden Ring, you can pick it up on Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One. Yeah. So it's nice to see that they're
Fantastic.
they're getting some good reviews. But I do want to note that, you know, at some point I'm probably going to play this game, but I need to give it some time.
Do you think you really are?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I'm not
maybe.
sure I recommend it for you. I don't know that it's a vendor game.
I've watched some streams. It looks really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what got me. I had Rick stream it for me. It wasn't like on Twitch or anything. He just screen shared and we hung out while he played. And I knew after watching him play for a couple of hours, I knew that I wanted to play this game too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was what it took for me, was just watching it be played. So.
Well, speaking of games that we've been wanting to play, I was shocked when I got a little bling on my phone, and it was a text message or a tweet from you saying, "Vendor, look!" And it turns out that Skull and Bones, which you all thought sort of fell into the ether and was never going to happen, apparently is now looking for open applications for public testing by Ubisoft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It exists.
It exists.
I long since had given up hope that Skull and Bones would ever be a game that you could play.
Yeah. So Ubisoft is inviting a very select number of people, which I have applied for.
Did you apply?
Of course I did. Like in the 5 minutes that you sent the thing.
Nice,
I already
nice.
had the application in. They are starting an insider program, and it will carefully select players to access a very early version of the game in order to provide feedback on issues and development to Ubisoft. Now, this isn't quite the same as a beta. This article from IGN, Ryan Dinsdale, says players can sample a near complete version of the game. That's not the case here. But instead, it's more like quality assurance. So early access testers will work closely with Ubisoft to iron out problems in the game, which I think is kind of cool because you're not just a beta tester. You're more of like a consultant. In a way.
I really hope you get into this.
Yeah.
I feel like, and you always have really good insight. You were talking to me about your answers to the recent Sea of Thieves survey, and I thought, yeah, this is all great insight for them. I hope they listen.
Yeah. I'm very perceptive about things. Like one of the things that I noticed in the new Sea of Thieves content is that there's actually some titles overlapping on the map now because of the fortresses.
Okay.
So when you zoom in on the map, some of the text is like overlaying and you can't really see it. I'm like, ooh, I don't think they thought about that. Anyways, anyone can apply for the insider program with Ubisoft. The only thing is that those dedicated to testing and working in progress versions of Skull and Bones will be admitted. They're also asking any individuals who are selected to have a lot of patience and commitment and adhere, of course, to a non-disclosure agreement and Ubisoft's code of conduct, which I think is kind of cool. It's almost like being an honorary employee.
Yes, it is.
A little bit. So
Yeah.
I think that that's really cool. in the application itself, they did note, they said our main objective is to get real data and feedback. So they want to see how players do when they're free to play their game whenever they want, however they want. Most importantly, we want to know how they feel about the game as they're playing it. So Ubisoft said that ideal candidates must be fans of Skull and Bones, duh, and have a keen interest in the game development with plenty of free time to play and give feedback. They're going to be like, we've selected you to be part of the insider program. I'm like, 10,000 years. Give you such a prick in the neck.
Oh, we've been waiting for this game for so long.
Yes.
Didn't they show this game like at the same E3 that they showed Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Skull and Bones was first revealed in 2017. But
holy shnikes.
But it has suffered.
So not quite as old as I was thinking.
Yes, it has gone through several iterations of different delays, and then eventually moved to 2020 production before Ubisoft actually revealed it had undergone a major reboot.
I'm a dummy. The Black Flag connection is that this was being made by the Black Flag team.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it actually had entered in alpha July last year. But soon after that, they delayed the game once again to 2022. So they're making some progress, and I think that this news and this insider program is a step in the right direction. And I am super excited about this because
I hope you get chosen to play it. I really do.
It's literally Sea of Thieves private worlds. That's what it is to me. Rare, goodbye. No. Sea of Thieves holds a soft spot in my heart.
So as much as we adore Sea of Thieves, do you think Skull and Bones will be comparable to it in any way?
No.
I don't either.
I don't think so.
I feel like Sea of Thieves has gotten so good that maybe Skull and Bones should just do something totally different.
Sea of Thieves is different in the sense that, well, I mean, I can't even really speak to it because I haven't seen Skull and Bones, but I would imagine if I were to speculate that Sea of Thieves is, it's community driven and it's meant to be more goofy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Like there is a serious side of it, but the art style makes it a little bit more tempered.
You have a silly time on the Sea of Thieves.
So anyways, that's the news. I've done enough talking. You take it away with the Fallout segment.
Thank you, Vendor. Today on that Fallout segment, we have a little bit of Fallout 76 news. Nothing huge, but the most recent Inside the Vault article gives us some information on upcoming new public events that I'm pretty excited about. There are 3 new public events, and you've spent a lot of time grinding in Fallout 76. You do these events over and over, and some of them I really love doing, but it's the same thing over and over. So I'm excited to have some new things to do. And the first one, the update is going to be called Test Your Metal. And this is available now in the public test server, the PTS, public test server. And the Test Your Metal public event is going to be a thing where Rust Eagle Raiders are constructing deadly robots, which they've just put together, cobbled together with parts that they've found hither and yon. And the Brother of Steel wants to investigate. So you will join the Gladiators of Steel to compete against the Rust Eagles inside a metal dome. So you defend the Gladiators and kill the bots and survive 3 rounds of combat. And you'll be rewarded with loot and rare plans, which include camp items and a botsmith armor set.
Wow, it's kind of like Mad Max meets Fallout 76.
Very much. And it sounds fun. It sounds a little bit like some of the Automatron situation, because in Fallout 4, those Automatron robots were very much cobbled together with different pieces.
Yes.
And they were mixing together Codsworth with remember Sexy Legs Codsworth?
Sexy Legs
with the
Codsworth.
Assaultron legs?
Yes.
I loved that. I loved it so much. So I think we'll see some Frankenbots put together with various bits and pieces, which will be fun. And also we have this one sounds like it could permanently change the world, like it's a stepping stone into a permanent world change. Foundation is looking to expand beyond its current location, and the settlers have identified a nearby blast crater that could serve as a spot for a new encampment.
Cool.
And there is radiation in the crater that is posing a serious problem, but they have put together a solution called the Rad Scrubber. And there is a distress broadcast that goes out that indicates the camp has been attacked by super mutants. So you go to this crater and fight the super mutants and secure the Rad Scrubber so that the settlers can continue to build their new settlement. And this one can get you some settler faction reputation, loot, and a legendary weapon with a unique paint job. And the really notable part here for me is that this gets you some settler faction reputation. There are achievements for maxing out your reputation with both the settlers and the raiders after the Wastelanders update. And there is a finite amount of daily reputation that you can earn. And doing those few things over and over and over to max that out was an utterly miserable experience. And I don't know why I did that to myself. And expanding the ways that you can do that is a very good thing for players. This final event is the one that I am the most excited about, though. I think it sounds like a really fun time. It is the Moonshine Jamboree.
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember from the early days of playing Fallout 76, the Sunday Brothers cabin location?
Yes. Yeah.
Where they had all that moonshine equipment, and we would sit on top of that old trailer and play musical instruments? You can go to that location now, and a group of raiders have fixed up the old Mr. Handybot, who is named Moonshiner Ned. And Ned wants some help making some moonshine. So the moonshine is called Meyer Magic Moonshine. It is the Sunday Brothers flagship drink. And it includes noxious gulper venom. So when the jamboree starts, gulpers will come to the area, you fight them, deposit their venom into a nearby bathtub, and then you brew up some moonshine. And you have to guard the stills so that they don't get damaged. You know, you have to make sure that there's time for it to brew up. And you can get some raider faction reputation, some loot, and some moonshine, and a chance to pick up the new Gulper Smacker melee weapon. So
Gulper
these
Smacker.
all sound really great. Like really
I just
fun
imagine
events.
it's like a giant gulper tail and you just whack.
That would be so fun. Oh my goodness. I'm glad they're introducing some new weapons and collectible things. I enjoy collecting things. And of course, a quality of life update. Corpse highlights are coming back. I know that you do remember losing the bodies in the tall grass and not being able to find the enemies that you've killed in this game. It's a problem in many games.
Yeah.
But now they will have a highlight so that your dead enemies glow and
That's
you can
nice.
find them and get
I
your
remember
loot.
looking for a body in the cranberry bog for like an hour.
Right?
And it was just gone. I actually thought it despawned. Maybe it did. I don't know.
Maybe it did,
I'll
but
never know.
it's something that we won't have to deal with quite as much in the future. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
And the second update that I have for you during this Fallout segment is that so I feel like a conversation that comes up a lot is like, oh, the game is dead, the game is dying. And I'm partially guilty of that as well. I had some major critiques of the last roadmap because it was incredibly vague. And to me, it felt like, judging by what we saw in that roadmap, they don't know what they're doing with this game and they don't have any plans for the future. But that is not true. According to this PC Gamer article by Christopher Livingston, the the design director, Mark Tucker, has stated that they are working on an internal roadmap that will cover the next 5 years of Fallout 76. So they are planning on supporting this game. A quote from Tucker says, "We have long-term plans, and things get a little fuzzier the farther we go out because we adjust and adapt as things show up, and we see what players want and what they're doing. But a lot of my time right now is spent on planning that 3 and 5 year roadmap." So they are planning to look ahead and to support this game for at least 5 years. So interesting, very interesting indeed. And I hope that the future of Fallout 76 is bright because I've gotten a lot of joy out of this game. I like it.
I don't know. Maybe the 5-year roadmap will be enough to bring me back into the fold.
Maybe so. Maybe they'll bring in some new updates and some additions that you'll find interesting that you might enjoy checking out. I think you should check out the expeditions when they bring that in, when they introduce the new location of the pit. I think that's something you might enjoy checking out.
Again, I think, well, I'm going to allude to this in my gameplay, but is that it for Fallout segment?
That's it for that Fallout segment.
All right. Let's talk about some game stocks. Shaline, would you like to take us through our game stock list?
You betcha, Vendor. So things are dire right now in the stock market. Everything is dying. Sony's at 97.31. That's down $2.87. Microsoft is at 280.07, down $5.52. Nintendo's down 4 cents to $62.48. Take-Two has dropped nearly $5 to $153.49. Activision is down about 50 cents to 80.31. EA is down $1.35 to $122.33, and Tencent has dropped $2.45 to $44.76. There is a single bright spot in the stocks, and that's Ubisoft, who has actually gone up by 46 cents to close at $41.17.
It's odd, just holding strong.
It's almost like people really want Skull and Bones.
Almost has something to do with the game that they announced 5 years ago and everybody's been waiting for. I need to rewatch the trailer. I don't even remember what the game is about.
Pirates.
I mean,
that's
all
what I
it
remember.
needs to be about, but
Pirates.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, let's move on to what the community is playing.
Okay, let me just have a look at this.
I really can't make it bigger. Is that better?
That's fine. It looks good.
Okay.
It looks good.
Okay. So I've got to pull up the little messages that everybody left.
Is this
for
Final
us.
Fantasy? I feel like this is Final Fantasy.
This is definitely Final Fantasy. This picture comes into us from Setsua.
All right. Hey, Setsua.
Yes, that also goes by Chocobo Nights on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scrolling. He said, my adventure in Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy
14 is the MMO.
My friend joined me in game. She is the cat.
That is a very cute cat lady. She's got like a chinchilla on her shoulder.
Yeah. That does not look like a cat. On the left? Am I missing it?
No, it's a cat lady, right? Because she has cat ears.
Oh,
the lady with the white hair.
I was looking at
she's got cat ears.
The baby moose looking thing on the left with the horns.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. None at all. It's cute too.
It's great.
All this stuff is cute. I've actually considered checking out Final Fantasy 14 because of how cute everything is. Things are cute and the graphics are pretty. And I want to try it, but I don't like MMOs. So yeah.
I mean, Sea of Thieves and Fallout 76 are really like the extent of my MMO experience.
Yeah, I think 76 is as close as I've ever come to enjoying an MMO, and it's not really a proper MMO.
No, because it's like, how many people on a server?
24, I think, is the max.
Yeah.
On a public server. Yeah.
And it's so big that you never really run into anybody anyways. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways,
Only at the events.
that is Setsua's
Holy
Final
shnikes, that's
Final Fantasy.
gorgeous.
Yeah, this next picture comes to us from Joshy.
Hey, Joshy.
As you guys know, Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West was released on Xbox and PlayStation 5. Is it Xbox or just PlayStation?
Just PlayStation.
Just PlayStation.
Yeah, it's PlayStation. That's why I'm not playing it, because it's only on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I might get it on PC. I almost bought it the other day. Almost bought it. Horizon Zero
Yeah.
Dawn, like the first part, because I actually haven't played it yet.
Zero
so-
Dawn, I've played like 25 hours of Zero Dawn, and it's incredible, and you should play it.
Yeah.
I want to finish it someday.
Yeah, so for our audio listeners, Joshy has posted us a lovely picture of the main character of
Aloy.
Aloy crouching, and the sun is sort of either coming up. Looks like it's coming up there.
Mhm.
Then Bree also sent us some pictures, and she said some more Horizon Forbidden West, and the screen, and she's got this funny selfie.
Yeah, it's like an animal skull hat that she's wearing.
Yeah,
A cute head tilt.
love
These
it.
are great screenshots.
Yeah. So that's those ones, and then I think my pictures got a little bit jumbled here.
This is more Final Fantasy 14 because this is like a bunny lady.
Yeah, this is back to Setsua's. Oh, and now we're jumping over to Seder. This is Seder's photo. He said that he was exploring a cave in Star Citizen, trying to find the body of the explorer. Then a quick nap in the captain's cabin of my military-grade industrial refueling mechanic, hopefully coming soon, ship with my pal Finley. I tried to get a picture with the sleep emote, but ended up clipping through the ship and died in space.
Oh no.
The joys of playing in alpha. And then they also share this picture of them sleeping in their,
Oh, that's so
their
cute.
bed. So for our audio listeners, the previous photo was their ship parked in this creepy
It was a
cave
pretty
with the
ship.
lights on. And then this next photo is his character laying in this like very steel bed with this astronaut bed sheets and planets, and then a little
It's
plushie.
very cartoony sheets.
It's so cute. This next picture comes to us from Joshy. It's another Forbidden West. But the best part of it is that I think that this is a potato screenshot.
I think so too. I think this is like a phone photograph of the screen.
Yeah. And then he recognized the shame of his actions and sent us an actual photo.
Oh, that's great.
screenshot.
That's hilarious.
So,
Of the same thing.
of the same
For the
thing.
audio folks, both of these photos, the potato screenshot and the actual screenshot, are just the startup screen of Horizon. So-
Yeah.
Oh, who did this one? This is gorgeous.
This one is RTZ13.
Wow,
Yeah.
this one's so pretty. I want to steal this from my wallpapers folder.
Yeah,
This
he
is so
says that he's
pretty.
progressing well through the first game, really enjoying it. Photo mode is a joy, and his brain is still happy with the older games. But for our audio listeners, it's a landscape photo of the sunset, and there's
Yeah.
sun flares and rays shining through and across the sky, and it's just so.
And there's a tall neck in the far background.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's another Forbidden West from Bree. She's on a bird type thing,
Okay, hold up. They're flying mounts now.
apparently.
Wow,
So, yeah, it looks kind of cool.
it does
Um,
look cool.
The sunset photo. This is probably my favorite one though. Joshy sent this
Ooh.
one in, and it's literally Total Recall meets Forbidden West. Like, you know that
It's
scene at the end of the
beautiful,
movie in the original Total Recall from the 80s with
Mhm.
Arnie, and like the steam
Is there
blows,
another one?
the steam blows out of the mountain, and then it comes down in the mountains, and then you can see all the peaks, and then there's the fog
Mhm.
everywhere. That's literally what it is, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
So those are what the community is playing. But
I really enjoyed that.
let's hop into what we're playing. What have you been up to, Shaline?
I have to start. Okay.
Oh, I can start. I can start.
You start. I don't know how to start.
Okay.
That's just weird.
Okay, so I've been playing some Sea of Thieves and Outer Worlds. Yeah, I fired up Outer Worlds again.
Really?
I did not give this game a fair try at the beginning. I really didn't. I didn't complete it.
Yeah, I
first
didn't
time.
either.
I didn't
No.
complete it. So I stuck to my guns and I reinstalled it, and for the last little while I've been telling you about how I need to have this solo experience again.
Yeah, you miss single player gaming.
That I've been playing a lot of video games with friends, which is all well and good and very enjoyable.
Mhm.
But I've lost a sense of identity of what really resonates with me in video games, and that is that personal, very intimate, intricate experience of the world and exploring and picking everything up and touching it and seeing it and looking at it and reading things and
Yeah,
and
I absolutely understand.
figuring out what I think is funny about the game, not necessarily what others think, and deciding my actions and things like that. So anyways, I fired up Outer Worlds, and it has rekindled my heart. I am playing Misanthropic Diplomat.
Oh, interesting. That's a real
so-
stretch for you to.
So he's intelligent, but he's really impatient with people.
I love it.
But he's really good at sneaking around and persuading people into doing what he wants without any remorse. But at the end of the day, he's really just one of those types of characters that, he wants everyone to get along. So I'm trying to find the dialogue options where everybody can win, which is really difficult in Outer Worlds, especially at the start, because you have to choose whether or not to divert power to Edgewater or to the deserters, as they're called. So I ended up cutting off power to Edgewater because screw those guys. I mean, corporate wellness, my butt. Yeah, I've been using mostly Felix as a companion right now, but I'm playing in the normal story mode, which is really funny because when I first played it, I played it in hardcore mode, which I think might be why I kind of didn't finish.
Mm-hmm.
I should have really started in normal mode or story mode or something like that. But the normal mode is so funny because the companions, when you get into a battle and they die, you have to finish off killing everything. And the first time that happened to me, I thought, oh my God, Parvati's dead. I killed her and I didn't get
love Parvati.
I didn't get a notification that she had died. And I'm like, that's odd because normally it's like Parvati died. You've ruined everything. Right. And so I ended up killing off all the dudes and then she just sat up. And she's like, and I went over to talk to her.
Parvati, you're okay.
I went over to talk to her and I'm like, and she's like, yeah, was there something you wanted to say?
Like she didn't just rise from her grave.
Right? Oh man, it was so funny. So the companions on the normal story mode fake died. They're very dramatic. Fictitious disorder all the way. I made the mistake of putting a helmet on Parvati and now I can't take it off.
Oh no.
It's permanently stuck on her head. So I actually had to go into the settings and make it so that the helmets are invisible.
Because so you could see Parvati's face.
I can't take the helmet off her head. It's terrible. It's like when you put Valentine in that power armor.
Yeah.
And he was
it's just stuck there forever. I think probably to get her out of it, the only way would be to give her a stronger one.
Oh, maybe.
Then she would take it off, but then she's still in a helmet.
It doesn't help, right? So anyways, so they're in actual combat scenarios. They're running around without any helmets on, and it's stressing me out because I'm like, you're gonna get a contusion, but actually they're just wearing an invisible helmet. But I forgot how funny this game is. It's so cynical, yet there's this juxtaposition of doom and gloom over top of this comedic layer of who cares? Whatever.
Yes, the sense of humor in Outer Worlds is very unique. There aren't a lot of games that embrace it in quite that way.
Yeah, and I think back on the Fallout franchise, and they really did that well, but in playing Outer Worlds, I think it's Fallout comedy on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
because it's definitely thicker in that game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there are so many funny scenes. Like, even out of the gate, like Phineas, who is one of the main characters in the story, he's like, there's a flash of him coming off the ship, and like the ramp goes down, but then it gets stuck, and he's like doing something else, and then he like hits the button and it doesn't move, and he's still waiting and doing something, and then he looks and he like starts smashing on the button. So funny. And then oh, and of course, it's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. Well, now
love
I
it.
am permanently hearing you say, it's not the
Gamestack's
best
choice.
choice, it's Gamestack's choice. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so
Shalene's
glad.
slogan
So glad.
is forever stuck in my head. But yeah, so I went to the Groundbreaker and I helped them do some stuff, talk to Gladys. I'm now on Terra 2 in Roseway, and I'm doing a bunch of side quests and trying to get the people to know the people in Roseway and doing some things there. So but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That sounds great, Vendor. I'm really glad.
Yeah, so that's Outer Worlds. But I've also been playing some Sea of Thieves. You and I did some sailing,
Mm-hmm.
which was a lot of fun. We can talk about that in a minute. I did sail with Grim and Callie and Kit the other night. We all four of us hopped onto a galleon. We called it the Callie Galley, but
That's great.
it's important to mention.
It's gorgeous.
And we did some Athena runs in the Devil's Roar. We actually managed to polish off 2 Athena runs on a galley with 4 people, which was very well coordinated, let me tell you. They know how to work the sails and communicate, and it was awesome.
Yeah. It's really nice having autopilot on the ships on Sea of Thieves. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So we had this really weird experience though. We get to the Devil's Roar because we spawned in at like Plunder or something. We get to the Devil's Roar and there's this brig there. And we were like, okay, well, I mean, we didn't really think too much of it because they weren't really coming over to us, so they didn't seem like they were a threat. But this sloop came into the Devil's Roar and started attacking the brig. And the brig sunk the sloop, and we were going to go help him. So we get over there, and it turns out that the guy that's on the brig is solo brigging, but he also turns out to be the person that I ran into in the Pirate Legend Bar at Plunder
my
Outpost when we
goodness.
spawned in. And I was like, what are you doing down here? Where's your boat? Like, it's not at Plunder. What are you, like, are you just hiding out here? Like, and what was his name? Captain Frog or Corn Frog. Anyways, so he sunk the sloop. Then we allianced with him, and we basically were like protecting the Devil's Roar from all other intruders. The sloop came back to try to kill us, and we were just digging up the chest of legends on the last island on the first Athena run. And this sloop comes over, and they think that they're hot stuff with their diaper sails and trying to be all sweaty PvP lords. We sank them in like 2 minutes. It's like
Made him uninstall the game.
like a fly on a horse's back. We just swatted him right off. Yeah, and then we kept on going. Then closer to the end of the night, we got megged, and we had a cannon rowboat. And if you recall in some of the previous episodes when I talked about this, the cannon rowboat is an important part in the game now because it's part of the commendations of the buried treasures. So there's instances where you've got to hit a meg or a kraken or a skelly ship with the cannon rowboat, and the best way to do that is when it's tethered to the back of your boat.
Mhm.
So anyways, we threw down the anchor, raised the sails, and Callie and Grim still had to get their cannon shots into this meg. And it takes a while because the meg goes around the boat, so you got to wait till it comes around on the side that you can shoot it. And in the meantime, it's charging the boat and putting holes in it. So Kit and I were basically constantly repairing. We must have went through at least 70 or 80 boards. And in between that, I was like rearranging all the gems on the bowsprit to make the boat look pretty because I had nothing else to do with my time. But I'm like rearranging gems, and I look up and there's this brig coming right for us. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this boat? Is that our alliance boat? Like, is that our friend? Do we know? And Grim looks at it and he's like, no, it's not. It's the Reaper. It's the Reaper coming. And it was a
Oh
grade.
no!
It was the grade 5 Reaper that had been lingering on the other side of the map for the entire night. So it was all hands on the capstan, and we were trying to raise the anchor. We get the anchor up, and we drop the sails, and we get the boat moving. And this brig stops, does a 180, and leaves the roar. And we were like, what?
Did you guys scare them?
We had no idea why they just like up and left. It was so weird. And like throughout the night, we were watching this grade 5 Reaper, and we were like trying to keep an eye on them, right? But it seemed to me like they were just doing regular game stuff. Like they weren't trying to attack people. Because they were going to islands and stuff. So anyways, it was really strange. It was the strangest encounter that I've ever had with a Reaper ship on Sea of Thieves.
That is so funny. They just turned tail and ran.
Yeah, they went back into the ancient isles down by Devil's Ridge. And then like 5 minutes later, I looked on the map table and they were gone.
I wonder if they didn't know what it meant to raise the Reaper.
Maybe they didn't. It's possible.
Maybe they were kind of new.
I don't know. I'm not
They
sure.
didn't understand that it was declaring war on the other players.
It's also
basically
possible that they seen how like coordinated we were on that galley, and they realized that maybe it wasn't a
These guys know
fit.
what they're doing.
But the fact that it had just disappeared off the face of the map was weird.
Yeah.
But the going theory is that there was no events up, so they probably got krakened and they sunk.
Maybe. I think you scared them so badly that they just decided to quit playing.
Yeah, they just
We're like,
uninstalled the
what?
game. And that was it. Anyways,
Just
and then
wait for Skull and Bones to come out, guys.
you and I did some sailing, which was a lot of fun. I was really happy to get you up to the Moose Head that you've been working towards.
Yes, it was so fun. We had a great time. So it was the last night before the new season began, and I really wanted to get that shining moose head to complete my Aurora set. And I think I missed a set of the sails as well, but I have a really well done Aurora set for my ship, and I like it. And I just needed 2 levels, just 2 little tiny scrawny levels. So we hopped on and we were doing some skelly fights, and it was a good time. And we ended up getting attacked by a skelly sloop, had a good time fighting them off. And that was really fun. I really enjoy fighting skelly ships.
It was really fun running
that.
around the beach while you shot cannonballs at me.
Oh my goodness. That was such a good time. We were so, again, as you said, with the cannon rowboat, there are commendations, and you're like, hey, we're doing these skelly fights. I'm going to park the boat right here, and you get on that cannon rowboat and shoot these skellies. You get a commendation. I'm like, yes, I want a commendation. Let's do it. So Vendor's down there like doing a little dance to entice the skeletons, and I'm basically aiming my cannonball at Vendor. I have a terrible shot with this thing, guys. Terrible shot. So out of the 10 cannonballs in my pocket, I'd kill like 3 skellies.
It was great.
I'd have to go reload, and Vendor is like, oh my goodness, out there running and running.
It was a good thing we had like 200 cannonballs.
It was a very good thing. It was such a fun time, though. We also fought a megalodon.
Yes.
And I don't think I've fought a megalodon since they were added to the game. I remember we fought one like the first day when they added them, and I don't think I've touched it since. And she was beautiful, a beautiful pink megalodon, and she was circling the ship. And as she started to slow, as we wounded her, I started to feel like it was a wrong thing we were doing to destroy this majestic beast who was just enjoying her own home. But at the same time, like she's biting the ship, and I'm like, oh, Megan, can you not? But then all of my guilt just drained away when I saw the massive pile of loot she left behind.
They dropped quite a bit now.
Holy cow, Vendor. There was so much loot. It was well worth it. And I feel like I'm just going to start picking fights with the Meg all the time. And anytime that Megan shows her face, I'm going to be like, excuse me, Meg, we're going to go down.
It was well worth it, because it actually got us to grade 5.
It
of
did,
Order
yeah.
Souls. So, which was nice because we sold
Mhm.
everything at 2.5 times. So, but
It was a great experience. We had a good time.
Mhm.
And last week we sailed with Archin and Jess and did that Shrouded Island quest
Oh
for the
yeah,
adventure storyline. That was really fun
I
too.
forgot about that.
I am not sure how I feel about this whole evolving storyline situation. This one was a little buggy for us. We had to do the last segment twice to get it to register. I just don't know how I feel about having these missable story segments. I don't like it when games want me to play only that game. You know, I feel like it's disrespectful of my time.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about how I
Mhm.
feel about the event either. I certainly don't like the fog that's around the Shrouded Islands.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Devil's Ridge, Golden Sands, Crescent Isle, some of my favorite islands. And I don't go to them anymore. Like
Mhm.
even if I have a
And
chest there or
sometimes you
something.
have to, and
Yeah.
it's this horrible experience.
I don't the event was kind of weird. As you know, season 6 started yesterday.
Mhm.
And I think you're really going to like the cosmetics.
I'm excited to
I'm
check it out
curious to
this
see what you're
evening.
going to think. Oh, I got to tell you what happened.
Ooh.
Okay, so yesterday I may or may not have taken the entire day off work to play the new content. So, but yeah, I did do some sailing with Kit in the morning, and then I hopped off and I did a little bit of work, but then in the late afternoon I hopped back on and I got right back into it, and I played into the evening. I visited all of the fortresses.
Oh, lovely.
All of them. I wanted to see all of them. But you know, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah.
But
I
I
look
will
forward
say,
to checking it out.
I will say that where this content really shines is in the music that's composed. And I tweeted that out to Sea of Thieves Rare and the director for music composing for the game. And he liked and retweeted and sent me a message back and said
Hey!
thanks. So that was kind of cool. Thank
That
you,
is so fun.
Robin Beanland. Thank you for the like and the recognition on my tweet. I was kind of fangirling a little bit.
How nice. That's lovely.
So, but yeah. Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to commandeer.
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
forgot
no,
to
no, no,
mention
no.
the new
That's
content.
a great story.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of other new content, what else have you
yes.
been playing?
So I think I'll save Elden Ring for last. The other thing I've been playing a lot is Fallout 76, of course, doing the homework, keeping up on the homework. And we've got this alien invasion event going on in Fallout right now. And I was really excited for this event to start. So one day after I'd been playing with Archin and he logged off because he gets up for work at like 2 a.m. So he has to go to bed earlier than I do. And I was online. I thought I'm going to redecorate my camp in honor of this alien invasion. I'm going to welcome our alien overlords. So I raised my camp to the ground. This is not the camp at the lake. This is a secondary camp that is near the White Spring.
Okay.
And I just raised it to the ground and started over. And I built a little, I put all my workbenches in a train car. And then I built a little concrete bunker behind it and just decorated it like space themed. And I really enjoyed that. I put one of the new companion characters in there who is a ghoul who claims to be a space alien and not a ghoul at all. And it was really fun decorating it. And
so you ripped down your brick house at the train station.
No, I haven't had the brick house at the train station in a long time.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. I had to tear that down when I moved to the lake.
That's right.
Yeah. But the house that I had at the train station, I had to tear down.
Right.
So the next day, Archon logs on, and I'm like, okay, I redid my camp. I want to take you for a tour. Okay, so he comes over and I'm taking him for a tour. I'm like showing him around. Here's my robot dog, and look, this is where I put this. And he's coming along behind me and he's like, why aren't the lights on? And I'm like, shut up, I'm taking you for a tour. We go a little farther, and he's like,
it just says like this brick is lower than this one.
he's like, Shaline, why doesn't your popcorn machine work? And I'm like, shh, shh, shh. So I take him a little further along, and I have the new bubble machine out, and I it's just like, it's not turned on, it's just drooping. It's an octopus, and all of its little arms are just drooping sadly instead of shooting out bubbles. And he's like, why does nothing work in here? And finally I tell him, okay, it's because I spent 20 minutes trying to do the wiring and it still doesn't work. And I think I need to hire a contractor.
An electrician. Did he fix it for
And
you?
he's like, I know a guy. So
Oh, that's so funny.
like 2 minutes later, there's no wiring that I can see anywhere, and everything works. I was so happy. So yeah, all the lights were on. My popcorn machine pops popcorn, and the bubble machine was working. It was just brilliant. He's the best. He's
That's
just
hilarious.
the best.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I am enjoying the alien event. It's a shame because it's a very short event. People just roll through and kill all the aliens real fast. So you have to be paying attention. You have to join that event right away,
But don't you have
or else
don't
you're not
have
going to get to
elite-
participate.
Don't you have elite status? Can't you just go into your own world and do it?
I guess I could. I don't know. I think it would be really hard to do by yourself.
Mm.
Some of these events are pretty hard to solo, and I think this one would be difficult. So I do wish it took a little longer to do the event, because I've missed so many instances of the event because
Yeah.
I wasn't fast enough getting there.
That's I don't like that. Like
Mhm.
you miss out.
Mhm.
Because there's like these OP players that just come in and steamroll the entire event
Mhm.
and then drop 3,000 serums at your feet.
It is fun that the aliens do appear in the world aside from just at this one particular event.
Oh, really?
They pop in on other events, and it sort of
Oh.
turns the event into a hard mode. Like, I don't know if you remember Campfire Tales, with the one with Scout Leader Poppy, and she's like, oh, hey, hello there. Like, don't forget the buddy system.
Yeah, come to
that event-
Minnesota.
Yes, that event gets invaded by aliens now.
Oh,
and
man.
it's so random, and you can just run into them walking along in the world, and it feels like there is this invasion of Appalachia happening. Like, there's these changes to the living world of Appalachia, and that's a fun thing.
That's good.
And they've added this sort of NPC who talks to you during the events, and his name is Homer Saperstein, and he's definitely not an alien pretending to be a human. Certainly not an alien of some kind pretending to be a human.
Homer Soberstein.
Saperstein, like
Saperstein?
sapien, like
Right. Right.
Homo sapien.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's clever.
So funny. So
Clever.
speaking of Homer, so one day I'm sitting around in my house. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was planning to play Elden Ring. And I had settled in and gotten my controller out, and I get a message from Archon. And Archon tells me, hey, I'm about to open the new dome. So I don't know if you remember the domes. They're sort of an unmarked side quest in the game. There are a few of them. I don't remember how many.
Okay.
And there are all these puzzles that you go through to get the keys to unlock them.
Okay.
You have to follow clues and stuff. I think you remember... I played with Kern Jess one time to get one of the pieces. And we were at Tanagra Town trying to get a piece of the key. It was Archon and Kern Jess. And it took us ages to finally do the jumping puzzle. And well, it took me ages. I don't think they struggled.
Till the walls fell.
Yes. Dharma and Shalad. And these domes are this little side quest. There are 4 domes open now. Thank you, Archon. So there's a new dome that was added with the event. And he tells me, hey, I'm going to open this dome, and it's a 1-use key. Do you want to hop on and see the dome with me? And I'm like, of course I want to hop on and see the dome with you. So I jump on. He's waiting by the door. And first, it takes me like 10 minutes to lower my weight enough that I can fast travel because I'm over encumbered. He's patient. He waits for me. And I get there to the door and he's waiting by the door. So he opens the door and we're excited. And we go into this dome and we're looking around, you know, and it looks like it's Homer Saperstein's kind of his base in Appalachia where he's been based. There's an alien autopsy happening and there's a huge screen on the wall with his face on it. And I'm looking around to see if there's any stuff to pick up. And I see this holotape on the table. And I ask Archon, hey, if I pick up this holotape, will it still be there for you? Or is there just the one? Like, is it an instanced holotape? Or because I don't want to pick this up and deny you the chance of picking it up, you know, because you're the one who did the work to get this key and get this thing open. And he says, I don't know, find out, pick it up and we'll see. And I'm like, no, I don't want to risk picking this up and then you can't get it.
Right.
And he says, no, I know how to get another one. Go ahead and pick it up. And at this point, I should have become suspicious, but I trust Archon implicitly. So I picked up this holotape and it blew up in my hand. It blew up in my hand and I screamed and I'm standing there like Wile E. Coyote holding this holotape while I turn to ashes. Yes, my hair's blown back. And this man laughed like I have never heard him laugh before.
Oh no. That's so
he was
sus.
he was just giggling and cackling and it was so funny. And I was like, you knew this was gonna happen, didn't you? He's like, yes, you know, I had to look up the dome to find the key.
That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason.
It's absolutely the whole reason he messaged me. He's such a jerk. But then he called back to the time that when the game had just first come out. I kind of scolded him a little for spoiling something. I told him, you know, like, let me discover things on my own. I want to see things on my own. And then he immediately took me to those haunted cabins.
Yeah.
So yeah, he shouted us back to that time. And I was like, you jerk.
See, it's on now. It's on now. We have to devise a new strategy.
Yes. This man is playing the long game. He's playing the long game. And I walk around this dome and I'm looking around and there's a terminal there. And I'm like, is this terminal going to blow up too if I use it? And I'm being all smart alecky and he's chuckling. And I log onto the terminal. It blew up too.
Okay, that one's on you.
That one's on me.
Yeah.
That one's on me.
Yeah.
But there was some lovely new lore. You were able to talk with the image of Homer Saperstein on his screen and chat with him for a while. So it's definitely worth going into this TNT dome. Man. You jerk. It was so funny. I've never heard him laugh like that. It was great.
No, actually, I can't imagine it. I don't think I've ever heard him hysterically laugh before because he's always very serious.
Yes, he can be a very stolid man, but in this instance, he was in hysterics.
That's
it was
funny.
Whew, gosh, it was so good. So good. You know what else is good? Elden Ring.
Oh, right. I was so engrossed in your story.
Yes.
But wait, there's more.
There is more. And I have not been playing enough Elden Ring. I've been thinking about it like constantly, but
let's refresh the audience's mind and just acknowledge that we had a previous conversation about how you were gonna buy it, and I was betting that you were gonna buy it and not play it, or play like a couple hours and never go back to it. But you've actually put in some substantial time.
I would say no, I have not put in substantial time. I'm still close to the opening area.
Okay.
But I have played the game, so there's that at least. Elden Ring, it's definitely a Souls game. Like if you really hate Souls games, this isn't going to be the one to change your mind. It's definitely a Souls game. But it's so compelling. It's so compelling. And I think I mentioned earlier, I don't know, were we on air or was it before the show?
I don't remember.
When I mentioned that I watched Rick play the game and I knew I wanted to play it too. And the open world is just, it's magnificent. It's beautiful. It's fascinating. I have heard Elden Ring likened to Breath of the Wild. And I totally get that. The draw of Elden Ring is the same thing that had me obsessed with Breath of the Wild. I really enjoy when a game lets you go somewhere that you really shouldn't go yet. When you're very underleveled for an area and you go somewhere and you're not ready to be there, but it lets you go anyway. The game lets you make those mistakes. Mm-hmm. And I love to get myself into trouble in a video game and then have to find my way out of an impossible situation. That's something that I love in a single player gaming experience.
Well, it's strategy. It's logic. You know, you got to think your way through it.
Like, I don't know if you remember back in the day on the show that shall not be named, I told a story about having to fight off a death claw with a dart gun that I cobbled together with parts.
Yeah.
While I was in my underwear.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Fallout memories of all time. Because I was in this incredibly impossible situation and it was so difficult. And I did it. I pulled it off. And I loved that. And that is what Elden Ring represents to me. This element of danger that can be very important to gaming. It's not something that I want in every single game, but it is something that I can relish when I have it.
So what have you done so far?
Okay, so you start out and there's a tutorial area you can go through. There's a little tutorial cave. So I went through the tutorial cave.
Wait a minute.
Right?
Wait a minute. What's the character creation like?
Character creation is actually excellent.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was very pleased with character creation. There are, I think, 8 choices of different classes that you can play as. Okay. I chose a bandit.
And the makeup?
And yeah, we're getting there.
Okay. Sorry, I'm really excited.
It's okay. The bandit that I chose, I felt like the reason why I chose the bandit was largely for the starting gear. I liked the outfit that the bandit had on, and you can really, it's an RPG, and it's very much an RPG in that you grind, you level your character, and you choose your attributes, and you can choose whatever attributes you want. So just because I'm starting out as a bandit, I can level myself any way that I want. I can choose to use magic or to use like more strength to build my strength, whatever. So I largely chose based on the starting equipment. Okay. And you can choose to be a male or female. I picked a female, and I always try for my first playthrough in games, I usually try anyway, to make a character look kind of like me. I like to be able to see myself in my RPG character. And so I build my little bandit. I find her a short curly hairstyle, and I was very excited about that. And the makeup in this character creator is actually very good.
Oh, really?
Like it's not exactly what I would do if I was in charge of makeup character creation, but the makeup in games tends to be this garish, horrible thing,
right? Where
it's just like you can tell that whoever designed this has never looked at a human being wearing makeup before.
They've never walked into a Sephora.
But the shape of the eyeshadow makes sense. It's how women wear eyeshadow. And the liner was good. The lipstick is good. And you can choose from a whole gradient of shades. And there's a lot you can do with it. The character creator is really, really robust.
You did say that you can choose sex, male, female. Mm-hmm. Can you choose your gender as in addition?
No, okay. No, you just choose a body type, basically. So
interesting.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the character creator. There's a tutorial cave in the beginning. I went in the tutorial cave, and it was not difficult. I picked up on it pretty well. You can jump, which I don't remember being able to do in previous Souls games. I've never played a Souls game for longer than 3 or 4 hours, so I don't know for sure, but I feel like jumping is a new mechanic. But I got to the boss of the tutorial fight, and I'm not always great at video games, and this boss really had me for a while. The first time I played, I almost beat it, and then it just crushed me over and over again. Just so finally I put the game down, I went and did something else, and the next day I came back and I just steamrolled this guy, just like crushed him. He didn't touch me.
When you say you thought about it, you mean you spent the last 24 hours thinking about a strategy to end this boss's life.
Yes. And
time.
it's the simplest boss in the game. It's just a
But you had
the
plan?
tutorial boss. It's
You
the
had a
tutorial
strategy?
boss. But I steamrolled that son of a gun. Just took him down. And then walked out into the open world. And since then, what I've been doing is a lot of sneaking around. I'm so scared of everything, Vendor. So I spend a lot of time like sneaking in the tall grass. And I enjoy stealth in games. I really, really do.
Yeah, stealth is great.
So yeah, I'm just doing the stealth thing, and I'll find lower level enemies and just wreck their day. I'll just come up behind them and do the backstab. And I love it. And the backstab animation is so brutal. And I enjoy it so much. And
That's good.
yeah, I'm still in that opening area. Just I haven't really done any quest type things yet. I've just been kind of walking around and grinding some lower level enemies and exploring the world. And I really like that about this game. I like the feeling of discovery. And I kind of like that there's not a quest log, that you just need to remember things and think things. And I think I will play this game with a notebook beside me. Because yeah, I think that's the way to do it. But I've enjoyed Elden Ring much more than I actually expected to. So
I heard a lot of recent criticism about people are saying that like you die too much. But the
I mean, it's a Souls game.
The lead developer for Elden Ring was like, you need to embrace death.
That's just the point.
That's what a Souls game is. So I feel like a lot of people have signed on to Elden Ring with the hype as their first Souls game. And that's really where that sentiment is coming from. But
yeah, you will die. And that's just part of the game. You learn from those deaths.
Yeah.
And there are consequences to death. You drop all the runes that you're carrying. The runes are XP and currency that you use to level up and buy gear. And you lose those. You can go back and pick them up, which creates interesting scenarios, because sometimes something kills you and I cannot defeat this enemy, but you want your runes back, right? So you just get on your weird horse and just like you're riding really fast through there and trying to just snag your runes and get the heck out of there.
it's like me going to Walmart.
Yes.
Just like in and out.
And the horse is so funny because he has like cow horns like on this horse. It's the weirdest little creature. The character design is so strange for all the NPCs and the mobs. And the goats that Rick talked about, that the sheep that roll.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. They're the best thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. They roll away from you.
Oh,
it's
great.
It's beautiful, beautiful. So Elden Ring is something special. It really, really is a special game.
It's great.
So yeah. Robots Radio's in the chat. Hi Tom, how you doing? Yeah, this is my Isabel's office is my background here. So I definitely identify pretty strongly with Isabel from Animal Crossing.
That's awesome.
That's my gameplay. That's it.
That's it. I mean, the last couple shows you were like, I actually don't have any gameplay. So it seems like you filled that backlog.
I have come out of the other side of that dark time of not really wanting to play video games for a while.
Well, it's nice to see you back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a show, everyone. We want to thank you all for tuning in and listening live, and for our listeners who are downloading and subscribing and listening to the show as we so diligently upload it to the ether. Yes. You can now catch the Stack Awards. It is now available, fully stitched together. We apologize.
Boy, that was
for
a team effort.
for the delay on that one, but that is done, and we will get this episode up as soon as possible as well. Don't forget the show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. If you would like to send us an email and share with us one of your stories, video game stories, or anything like that, or just tell us about the show, you can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com.
You could even just tell us about your day. I mean,
Yeah,
we're here. We're here for you.
Yeah, we are here, absolutely. You can also find us on Twitter if we're not here, at We Just Love Games, Shaline at Shaline L, myself at Vendertron N. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games, facebook.com/groups/We Just Love Games. We are also on Discord. That is our most active place. And if you are not already there, we encourage you to join in on the Discord community. You can find the link on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. We record live at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time every Friday. And you can also find the show on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and any other platform that you can think of. Please like and subscribe. Review the show, and we will shout you out. Thank you all for listening. Shaline, have you got a last word?
Let's go sail.